Good afternoon, everyone. It's 6 minutes past 3 on Thursday, the 28th of January. I'm looking at VectorVest US and a strong day today after the big sell-off yesterday. And as you can see, there's twice the number of shares that have advanced as opposed to declines. But the underlying trend up, but the short-term trend still down. VectorVest does not advocate buy stocks at this time. I haven't bought any stocks and I've disposed of one. I'll talk you through that in a second. If we have a look, I'm just going to go to the S&P 500. There's the S&P 500, folks. This is the cash price. And as you can see, a very easy to draw, very predictable trend line stopped the market in its tracks yesterday. There was also a Fibonacci relationship there for those of you that are Fib analysts. Of the last move up, the sell-off was 127, 1.27 of that. That's the square root. 127 is the square root of 1.618 for those of you that are Fib analysts. So the bulls and the orders were there, and the market has found support there yesterday afternoon, and it's moved up strongly in the last half hour. We're above 3801 again. I assure you that the shorts will have their stops up here somewhere. This big red bar down is known by some technical traders as a knockout bar, and if the market breaks above that high, those shorts will have to cover. That will drive the market up even more. So break above, and that level I think is 38.36. Yeah, 38.36. If you see this getting to 38.40, then it'll probably get legs. It's got a long way to go before it does that. I'm reasonably happy with the few spread bets that I've got. I haven't been as aggressive maybe as I should have been. This FLGT is going great guns. I was so close to being stopped out on that a few days ago. And let's just chart all of these and have a gander. Where am I now? Chart them. And that's FLGT. I found this share, I'd never heard of it before. I found it in the Midas Touch watch list for VectorVest subscribers, and that's where I came onto the share. And as you can see, it's got my 21 and my 55. If we put up earnings per share, we can see the earnings per share had this huge wave up towards the tail end of last year, where earnings went from $1 to $5, and that's the energy that's driven this up the page. And if I put on volume, click volume, not stochastic, we can see that in this rise there was really good volume, and volume starting to move into the share now as well. So that moving very strongly. I'm really thinking of taking some profit here soon. I haven't done anything as yet, so I've shorted those, and then I've in fact stopped them. So that's where we were. Let's go a little bit further. This is growth generation, and support came in yesterday at a very predictable level. This level needs to hold, and I'm a tad underwater in that position. What can you do? AMD, this level needs to hold, that's for sure. PLTR going really nicely, and you can see this volume moving in here as it broke out of this. I haven't taken my stop losses at entry on that share. And Peloton, this fairly predictable level is held, and if this in fact pans out, this would be a textbook, not quite a textbook, but a Wyckoff spring. So a bit early for that. And this is Square. Now Square I'm not in. I was stopped out of Square just underneath this low, but as you can see, Square came off that 127 extension of this push up, exactly like the overall market. And that is starting to look interesting again. If the general market, if the short-term trend turns to up, and VectorVest says it's safe to buy stocks again, then I'd be tempted to get in to square again. This bounce off the 127 can be very profitable indeed. So got stopped out of one very small loss, and considering to buy back into square again. The one that I got out of was Apple. And I read this morning the results of Apple. The results were absolutely marvelous. And I just didn't like the way the share sold off after those results. And I had a bit of money on the table, and I got out of that just after the market opened this afternoon. If we have a look at this, we can see that this level here can still hold, folks. So if you're in it, just watch that level. But it's been my experience over the years that if I see a set of really wonderful numbers, and reading those Apple numbers, I really can't see what more they could have done. The results were magnificent, and a share that in fact gaps down after such a set of results, well, it's always my way just to get rid of it, and that comes from the University of Hard Knocks. So out of that, maybe wrong, I don't know, time will tell, but I can always get back in again, and the money is safely banked. So that's what I've done. The gold market has had a shot in the arm this afternoon, and it's moved up very strongly indeed. I'm still worried about another leg down in the gold market, but the one thing that I'm pretty sure of is that this move is a corrective move, and that's an impulse move, and that sooner or later we're going to get a break up. Now, when I discussed this last with VectorVest customers on Monday, I didn't discount a run down to 1766, this low. It would be great if this in fact was the low. That point, for those of you that are fib analysts, is 78% of that. And if we were to blow this little bit up a little bit to a, let's say, an hourly chart, and I need to rescale it carefully here. There's the hourly chart, and this low was 62% of that. Now that would be what my friend Larry Pesavetis would call a textbook Gartley pattern, where we get a thrust up, AB equals CD down, coming to that 1830 level. So very important fib level, very important pattern indeed. It would be wonderful if the gold market were to find long-term support at 1829. Sooner or later, as I say, this corrective pattern will move up, but it's given us a run for our money, certainly, and giving us a couple of false breakouts along the way. In the UK, I'm still holding Polymetal, I'm still holding Pan-African Resources. When this breakout gets underway, then I shall add to those positions. The silver chart, as I said again to the VectorVest people on Monday, the silver chart technically looking stronger than the gold chart at the moment, and a silver chart also had a very strong move this afternoon off a harmonic pattern. If you're new to trading, folks, stay well away from gold shares. Okay, just stay. They're quite addictive, and I've been trading them all my life, and sometimes I wonder why, because they can give you hell at times, and people unfortunately don't understand risk until they've been smacked around a few times. So if you want a quiet life and steady, consistent results, stick to shares that have got a solid track record of making money, and that are growing earnings strongly, and that are in the throes of a strong trend. Gold stocks are difficult. They have a mood and they have a temper on them, so just be careful. But nevertheless, this is starting to look very good. I like the way it came off this pattern. So if we go back to the American market, this FLGT going really great this afternoon. AMD is holding. I'm reasonably happy with all of those. that 139 level, those of you that have still got Apple, that 139 is key, and it seems to be holding. So maybe my decision was impulsive and rash, but it is my experience that if a company comes out with a great set of numbers and then the share price gaps down, that is not good. We shall see. Looking at Square very carefully, if it were to bottom out here, then at that 127 level, then tomorrow morning, if it should break above today's high, then that would be a reason to get involved in Square again. I hope that helps. Tomorrow I shall do a long review of the UK portfolio. I don't watch it nearly as intensively because the UK positions are not leveraged, although most of my own personal assets are in those positions, but they're not leveraged, so I give them quite a wide berth. These positions are leveraged, they are short-term bets, and I watch them much more closely for that reason. I hope this helps. Thank you.